Hello, guys, and a warm welcome back to High Functioning Slightly Faded. My name is Julie, and I'm reporting to you live from one of the best weeks of the year. Actually, it's the night before Halloween, but it's Halloween. I hope you guys, all of your costumes planned out and some fun parties to go to. I gotta work this weekend, which kind of sucks, but I'm still gonna try to make it work. I may need to somehow finesse a switch or go in a little late. We're gonna see. We're gonna see. But I actually had a small last minute Halloween party last Friday, and I was hoping to be able to get someone else to have one, because it's like, obviously, I love having people over, but then it's like, you gotta clean up. But people were being so lame, so I sent out a mass invite to a bunch of our friends in Partiful, which you guys know I love a good Partiful invite. And I had a few decorations out already, and I used the chalk markers that I got for the Summer I Turned Pretty party to decorate, like, some of the mirrors. I drew a mustache and devil horns on Margaret Thatcher, etc. Like, all the important things were covered. But it actually ended up being a really great time. And a few people at the last minute couldn't come, but it was like, I didn't really care because I was inviting them last minute anyway. So I was like, don't worry about it. It was really fun. There was maybe like 10 to 12 of us. I made a really great Halloween playlist. I put it on my story the other day. But if you want a link to it, let me know. Use this as the sign to reach out to your friends to have that maybe you see less often, have a last minute pregame or party just for fun. You have nothing to lose. You guys may know I have 100 siblings or whatever, but like my older brother just turned 30 and he's the oldest. And his wife had a surprise party for him at like a local bar. It was super fun. He's a great brother and, a great friend to everyone, and I'm happy we did something special for him because I feel like he deserves it, and it's a big birthday. Although Joe and I literally left his gift on the counter before we left, so when we were almost there, I was like, we don't even have the gift, which is not a big deal. I'll just give it to him another day, but I was just like, damn. Now, like, when's the next time I'm gonna see him? This is like, I'm gonna have to figure this out. My aunts and uncles came, and you guys may know that for as quote-unquote cool as people say that my parents are, and they love to make me listen to when they have an issue, and they've been blocked from the pod account, obviously, as well as most aunts and uncles, and their friends, because none of us want to hear it from them about it. And it's like, because I talk about inappropriate things that my parents would be upset about. And it's like, I'll talk about it in real life and they don't care. I think they would care if it was on the internet. But recently they've been like, oh, like, my dad's brother, like, said something to my dad, like, about it. And I'm like, it's chill, like, chill. They're not like I don't know if they're gonna be chill about it, but I just was like, nah, I was with my friends. It's okay. But my uncle, like my dad's brother, had listened to an episode of it, and of course it was the season finale of Summer Turned Pretty, where I'm talking about bring back fingering with Conrad Fisher, which I literally just apologized for in my most recent episode because some people close to me, named my sister, were upset that I even said that on the podcast. But he came up to me and he was like, hey, just so you know, like, I'm on your team. So you guys know, I'm like, what's he talking about? It has to be something with the podcast, whatever. Then I'm in line for the buffet, and I'm with Alfie and my friend, and my uncle came up to me, and he goes, just so you know, I'm totally with you. I am fully in support of the cause. Like, I didn't know it ever went away. And I turned to Alfie, and I go, because he walked away, and I'm like, ha, ha, ha. And I'm like, is he talking about bringing back fingering with Conrad Fisher and fingering fall? And he's like, yeah, there's just no, like, what else would it have been? Genuinely, I cannot figure out what else it would have been. Like, and we couldn't stop laughing the whole night, just being like, oh my God. But guys, fingering fall is a yearly thing. This isn't even the first time I've seen it, but this year I keep seeing the memes with like Glenn Powell's face on them. And it's like, it's hilarious. And that's why I keep saying, like, thank you, Glenn Powell, for raising awareness for a good cause or whatever. Like, and people keep saying, like, yes, like, for when Conrad Fisher was bringing back fingering when I was talking about that, except for those close to me. But I don't know. I'm not saying this because I'm like, no one's doing it anymore. I'm just like, it's just like funny. Like, I'm not speaking from personal experience. It's just like a meme. And then obviously, like, everyone was talking about it when Conrad was fingering Belly in the stairwell in the finale of The Summer I Turned Pretty. But it's like, and I fuck with Joe and I drive him crazy. Like, this year, like, everyone was like, what are your New Year's resolutions? Well, not everyone, but I was saying this to him. I'm like, my New Year's resolutions are like to dry hump more. Like, I just say some stupid shit all the time. And like, he's like, girl, enough. And he's probably like, people are probably thinking I'm not giving it to you because you keep saying this shit. And I'm like, it's just a meme. It's like not that serious. But moving away from fingering and moving back to the topic of the party, there was a DJ towards the end, and me and Alfie were tearing the fuck out of that dance floor. There was some interesting local, like, influencer lady in a butterfly costume, and she was on, like, Instagram Live or whatever the whole time, and she loved dancing with us because we were, like, the only other people dancing. But we were, like, so hot and sweaty. Like, I had to stop drinking and switch to water. It was too much. In the Uber home, Joe was like, when we go home, let's put Sing on the TV and fall asleep on the couch. And I was like, you don't want to just go to bed? He's like, no, I want to go watch TV and fall asleep on the couch. And I was like, you know what? I get it. Fair. Although, like, the sad thing was that I definitely did not fully change into a set of pajamas before I fell asleep on the couch. I woke up in, like, an uncomfortable outfit. But I woke up at, like, 2 and woke him up and was like, let's go to the bed. This is ridiculous. But it's a good vibe, you know? If I could carry him, it'd be like when your parents carry you and you fall asleep watching a movie, you know? So in recent news, as everybody knows, obviously, there was a heist at the Louvre that was done in literally like 3 minutes. And the group was able to steal like 88 million euros worth of art and artifacts. And Napoleon's wife's crown was literally dropped and damaged in the gutter. Like, so it was so insane. You know, they used a crane to get up to the window in order to get in and out of the museum early in the morning about the time that it opened to the public. And they just looked like construction workers. I obviously know everyone has heard of this by now, but it's genuinely so crazy. It's like everyone else, I also didn't think that this was even possible in the modern age with technology, and they still haven't caught them. They've been on the run, I think, longer than Luigi Mangione was. And he didn't even do that shit. He was with me. It's like, free my guy. I don't know what the fuck that's about. But they used a crane to get up to the window, like I was saying, and like, it's just so crazy because it seems like such a simple thing. Like, you'd think that window would have been locked, but maybe, I know the museum, that when it first happened, was thinking it might have been like kind of an inside job. But I don't know. I'm going to file it up there along with the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum heist in Boston 1990, where the artwork still has not been recovered, as some of my favorite heists. I don't know many others off the top of my head, but maybe that's the moment in history that will give me the final push to finally watch Ocean's 8 and 11 and I don't know, whatever the fuck is the first one. But in other news, recently, Jeremy Allen White, obviously of Shameless, Iron Claw, and The Bear fame, finally graduated high school at 34 years old. I want to take a moment to shout him out because that's a truly amazing accomplishment. And he's been working a lot recently. And he just was filming the Bruce Springsteen movie too. So it's like he's been grinding his ass, you know? And especially after, I feel like it's even more impressive, especially after you've like left high school and you go back like that far in the future, because it's so hard to go back to school. You know, he has a successful career, so he didn't even really need to do that. He just did that for himself. And I think that's amazing. You should do stuff for yourself. That's great. You guys know by now that I love sharing new things that I recently learned. And I have to say that this one hit especially close to home for me, especially because I grew up adoring Curious George. PBS had the cutest show when we were growing up, and the movie came out with an iconic Jack Johnson soundtrack. I read every book possible featuring Curious George, and I had an iconic Curious George birthday party for my fifth or sixth birthday, where we saw the movie in theaters, and my mom made us a cake that looked like his face, and then used like those Valentine's Day heart lollipops as the tongue. It looked so perfect. She's really creative. She's really the best. She made us have some really great birthdays growing up. She always went all out for us. But on Threads the other day, I saw someone trying to say Curious George was racist or something. And then I'm like, oh, please, no, God. But I feel like everything has some kind of horrible root in it. It's like I wouldn't even have been surprised. But I didn't think that it was. And I was like, what? And then I looked in the comments and I was like, okay, thank God. I was like, whew. But it was created by two Jews that had escaped the Nazis, H.A. and Margaret Ray, who first met in Hamburg, then in Brazil, and lived in several places while fleeing the Nazis, before settling in New York City and later in Cambridge, Mass. Both H.A. and Margaret Ray, interestingly enough, were fluent in multiple languages each, yet their starring character doesn't speak famously. You know, I kind of think there's something to be said about that, because the series has been translated into so many different languages online, I was seeing, and it's just like anyone can relate to it because the main character doesn't even speak. So it's like you're not going to have like local lingo lost on you if you don't speak. You know what I mean? Like if you like, because it's for little kids, you know, if you haven't started talking yet or whatever, like, I don't know. I just feel like it's interesting, especially for two people that can speak in so many different languages, but they're probably doing it to show someone that can't speak up for themselves like they really couldn't when they were fleeing the Nazis. But anyways, I'm a Curious George stan and a Nazi hater. You guys know that. You guys know I love this fun fact. But I think I'm going to make a drink when type of game for when the last season of Stranger Things comes out. Like, at least for the finale. Like, so if I forget or, like, am lazy and don't do it for the first half that comes out, I'll do it before the other one. But if you guys have any suggestions for it, let me know. Especially because you're supposed to be doing your rewatches right now, like I told you. You guys should have plenty of ideas surrounding the last, 4 seasons of Stranger Things? Come on. There's a lot of content there. So you guys definitely know, because I love to flex it on you every chance I get. I have a Dyson Airwrap, as you can tell, looking at my hair right now. And my beloved Joseph gave it to me for my 24th birthday, and I love it. But before this, I was the queen of the blow dryer and round brush combo. My only complaint when I got the Dyson though, and it was like the first thing I thought, was that the round brush was too skinny, because it's like, I'm trying to think, it's like it's like a half the size of the normal round brush I would normally get, because I have fine hair, so I like to do a lot of layers, and you need to get some volume in there. But I actually just got the fatter round brush, and it came in the mail, and like, I definitely think it gives me more of like a straightened look than like what a normal round brush might, but it's different because, like, for those of you who don't know, it pushes the air through the brush instead of you pushing the air onto your hair through the brush. You just gotta blow dry your hair one time and you'll know what I'm saying. I do like it, and I needed it, and I am definitely happy, because with my bangs and stuff, it's definitely easier to dry them and style them. But the more you know. I don't know how many of you guys have seen Nobody Wants This on Netflix, but if you haven't, run, do not walk to your TV and stream it. Me and Joe were so excited to watch season 2 of Nobody Wants This, because it just came out, and we loved season 1 last year. And like, now that I have the podcast, I'm like, oh my God, Joe, that's literally us. I mean, Joe's not Jewish, but he's very Seth Cohen coded. Anyways, but Seth Cohen as Seth Cohen as Joe is, generally in Nobody Wants This, we relate to the couple in the opposite way, where Joe relates to Joanne, and I'm a little bit more like the sexy rabbi in our relationship. You know, we're both big Adam Brody and Kristen Bell fans too. You know, I love the portrayal of the sisters, especially their relationship. Joe is always like, that reminds me of your sisters. It's very real, you know. Check it out if you haven't watched it, especially, but definitely check out season 2 if you watched the first season you didn't know. Definitely really good. It keeps up the quality, but then it's like, I want another season and we gotta wait. This is ridiculous. But we binged season 2 so fast. I'm already ready for season 3. You know, stream it if you haven't, guys. And also, they played Ready For It by the Taylor Swift on season 2. And I know she didn't re-record Rep, but like, kind of was wondering if it was Taylor's version. You know, release of all tracks, please. Speaking of Taylor, she has been feeding us lately, and I know she doesn't have to. I know she doesn't have to do promo for this album, honestly, but we're beyond spoiled as it is. But I kind of miss when she'd do live performances for the promotion, because it was so fun, and I love her voice. And it always felt special because every performance was unique, you know? I saw a thread recently, yes, I'm one of the 100 strangers on there, that said Walgreens is equivalent to Walmart and CVS is equivalent to Target. And I do kind of feel like that's pretty accurate comparison. It's hard when you really vibe with a straight guy on a friend level, but then they pull up in the cringiest pair of jeans that you've ever fucking seen. That's a really real statement. I just wrote that in my phone notes and I like put it in here. I was like, I gotta get this off my chest. One of my favorite fun facts today for the podcast, going back to my last episode where I talked about Shane Dawson proposing on both knees and the $20,000 for a minute ahead and blah, 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 blah. But Zachary Quinto hates Shane Dawson. And you guys are probably like, why the fuck does Zachary Quinto even know who Shane Dawson is? But somehow Zachary Quinto, like, he directed Shane's movie or something. Like, I don't know if Shane won a contest or if, like, I don't know, Zachary lost one. No, I'm just joking, but it just is so crazy. And, like, all the behind the scene clips, like, he literally has this look on his face like he's gonna kill Shane. It's just so funny. It just, like, seems like such a random pairing, too. In case people are still looking for Halloween costumes the day before, here are some of my past ideas you guys might want to pull from. Alien is a classic. Sexy Sailor, Sexy Swiss Miss. These were costumes I bought at like whatever Spirit of Halloween or whatever. Sexy Nurse, not Stolen Valor when you're actually a nurse, guys. Mummy's a good one. Theirs are always good because you can just do like a cute outfit that's like dark colors and just like makeup with a little blood. Jason versus Freddy, me and my best friend did a couple years ago, and that was a great one too. Black Swan. I did a dragon one time, which was pretty good because I got the horns because it was like Game of Thrones was still airing, so I think that could have been why it was available. They're probably Maleficent horns, and then I got wings, and then I did like fishnet and like did a eyeshadow situation, and it looked pretty good. It was pretty good, pretty creative. I did the Minion. Obviously, you guys know that I've done the Minion a couple times. You know that's a classic Halloween costume for me. I've done a black cat probably a million times, and I'm gonna keep doing it. They're going to have to pry the black cat Halloween costume out of my cold, dead hands. Go Dancer is a good one. I did that for an Austin Powers theme Halloween party went to a couple years ago. Devil and Angel is always good. One year we did Charlie's Angels. Like, me and two of my girlfriends did it because we were friends with my friend Charlie. And he had his own costume, but we had him put like a robe on like Hugh Hefner or whatever when we did a photo. But like the three of us were angels. And we were like, oh, well, there's three of us. We're angels, play on words, you guys get it, etc., etc. It's a pretty good one, But I know I haven't mentioned any Facebook Marketplace finds on the podcast recently, but I know you guys love them. So here's some recent ones I saw that were pretty good. There was a $100 Statue of Liberty Barbie collection doll, a $175 mystical seance with glass top and planchette, a $45 Bob Mackie Sapphire Splendor Barbie, which was beautiful, $50 handmade light switch covers made with repurposed jewelry, an $800 19th century wicker body retrieval basket. It's kind of grim. And then an $11,111 cigarette smoking alien painting. I thought the price was a joke because it's like 1111, but they said they need the money for school, like student loans and their art business, and like, to be honest, good on them. Like, know your worth, you know, it's a great painting. Some of my all-time favorite horror movies are Hereditary by Ari Aster. Of course, me and Emily watched that for the first time together when we were, I think, freshmen in college. We were sitting on my bed and we watched it because we like didn't really want to go out that night, and then we were scared. We were really scared. But it's a great movie. It's great. One of the scariest movies of all time for sure. Halloween 1978 is unbelievably iconic. Let's take a moment for Jamie Lee Curtis, my queen. It's a must-watch every Halloween. Smile 2. People were hating on it, but I feel like it ate so hard. There's a lot of really good horror movies that I love. The Scream franchise, you guys know I love that. I'm trying to think what else. If there's another really good one. The worst part is that I've seen a lot of really obscure horror movies, like actually obscure ones, and I just like and I liked them, but like I can never think of them in the moment that I'm doing something like this, or when I was trying to write the script for this and like think of ideas. So if I think of any more, I'll post it on my social media, or I'll talk about it on here. We'll see. But some more obscure horror movie recommendations for me are When a Stranger Calls. There is the original, but the 2006 one, I won't disagree that a lot of originals are better, especially horror. But it's like sometimes it's just not as relatable. It's just like an easier watch if you watch the newer one. No shade. I'm also going to go Prom Night, but I got to shout out my girl Jamie Lee Curtis and Brittany Snow because they're both queens in their own right. Well, I guess it's not really horror, but I think it was intended to be horror when it first came out. The Day the Earth Stood Still, the original is really good. And, oh God, I cannot think of it. What is that one with the Invasion of the Body Snatchers? The original is really great. Night of the Hunter, 1955 is a great movie. The Collector, 2009, and the second one are fucked up and traumatizing. The Evil Dead in 2013 is great, and I love the end scene with the blood rain. That was fucking crazy. And I gotta give a shout out to the Creep franchise, too, because he carried that, and honestly, they're really good. They're scary, but they're good, and like I just feel like they're so different in their found footage, but they're just a little different. I love them. So you guys may know that I have some of the most insane social media algorithms between my various platforms, and sometimes I see some very positively insane things, but other things I see are just like straight up weird. But don't forget, I often also end up on like Schizogram. But Joe and I were talking about how when we occasionally see weird sexual things on our feed, like things are obviously like some kind of weird fetish, and it's like sometimes it's funny at first, but like obviously there's some fucking freak out there that we have as a mutual that is into those things. And like I've never seen anyone that's like following the accounts or liking the post, but I'm like, there's gotta be, or maybe they're like us and it's me and Joe sending them to each other, and like we don't see them all the time. So I was like, it's definitely not because if I see something and I'm not with him, I'll be like, what the fuck is this? But it's just like so crazy and scary to me because someone else's like fetish could be my biggest nightmare. Like, who are these freaks? Like, the worst one I've seen is when people like they go inside these giant latex like suits and stuff, and then they put like a vacuum on it, and they're like and it's like, I actually have nightmares about that. I didn't even know I was scared of that until I saw this video that's obviously a fetish for you, and I'm scared. And if I ever met someone in real life that was into that, I think that I would have to get a restraining order. I would be like, you're gonna kill me. Like, that is so scary to me. But I don't know. Everyone is different, to each their own, I guess. I'm genuinely a queen of telling the truth, but I have to advocate for lying when you have to. Because you guys know I cannot resist a good bit. You know, dealing with conflict, you know, with a white lie to make everyone happy. Like, if my patient's like, what took you so long to get in here? I'll be like, I actually had an emergency in the other room. I'm so sorry. I was actually trying to get in here when you were calling, but I had a blood pressure so low. I almost had to call critical response. Like, I'm so sorry, but like, can I make it up to you? Because then they feel bad. And it doesn't break HIPAA if it's a fucking lie. It's not a real patient, you know, it's like just a lie. And it's like, that might sound messed up, but like, guys, I have had people yell at me when they'll hear code blue. And it's like, I'm obviously doing compressions or something. And they're like, I needed a cup of ice chips and nobody came in for 20 minutes. And it's like, okay, well, somebody died. And I had to break their fucking ribs. Like, stop. Like, please, we're at a hospital. This is not like a spa. Like, and it's like, I don't want to be like that because there are so many people that are sick that do need a lot of help that I help them and I don't mind. And like, that is what I'm there for. And I love doing that. But then there are some people that just like, they'll be like, can you wipe my butt? And I'm like, what do you do at home? And they're like, oh, I just wipe my own butt. And I'm like, okay, well, can you please point to me on your body, maybe the reason, or explain to me why you don't want to do it yourself? Like, do you want me to do that? It's just bizarre. People are strange. But sometimes you gotta tell a little white lie to make everyone happy, As long as no one gets hurt, why does it matter? If you go to a party and some asshole's trying to brag about them, like, how much money they make to everyone and be like, oh, I make so much more money than everyone, like, you just gotta be like, oh my God, I make that much alone on the podcast. And that's what I would say if someone said that shit to me, because it's like, I don't care. I don't care how much money you're making. Unless something crazy happened where, like, you won the lottery and you're like, I won this much in the lottery. I'd be like, yo. Or, like, something, I don't know, something different. Or we're in the same industry. Because if it's someone in my industry, I want to know what they're making so I can know if I'm getting fucked over. But, like, for someone who's not, it's like, I don't know you like that. Like, it's just so weird. People are so bizarre. But, I don't make any money on this podcast. I was joking when I said that. But that would be my response. And it's a lie, but just so you guys know, if you're ever in a weird situation, don't be afraid to lie. Harmless lies heal the world. Okay, so now on to everyone's favorite part of the podcast, the Slightly Obsessed list. I gotta add Halloween on here because you guys know I love Halloween. Then I'm going Post-Sex Clarity by Lola Young. That song is so good, and I'm sick of seeing people hating on my girl. I love her. Her voice is amazing, and fuck you guys for hating on her. Dracula by Tame Impala is amazing. Obviously, between this episode and last week's episode, if you can't already tell, I'm very much obsessed with binging horror movies, shows, and other seasonal, festive Halloween programming to get myself into the Halloween spirit. And if it wasn't clear in my earlier discussion, nobody wants this on Netflix is an obsession of me and Joe's right now. Caleb Heron's HBO special is really great, and I finally watched it. He's awesome. I really love him. Sabrina Carpenter's New York City concert bodysuit for Madison Square Garden, and then the taxi outfit was so cute. I loved it. And I gotta give a shout out to Chad Powers. I do want to try to record another episode tomorrow, and we'll see when I get around to editing, guys. And I do have to shout out Chad Powers, and I was gonna maybe talk about it there because me and Joe just finished the season. Everyone at work is like always knows when I'm watching on TV because I'm like, do you guys watch this show? Do you guys watch this TV show? Because I love it. And it's like I was telling all the girls, I'm like, fucking Glenn Powell's in it, guys. He's so hot. Tune in. It's so good. It's so funny. I love, oh my God, you know what's horrible? I can't even remember his name. I'm thinking his name is Whiskers. Ugh. I'm blanking. Guys, it's just one of those days. I was really busy at work the last 2 days, but I'm literally like, I love the kid who plays Whiskers. I love the whole cast. It's great. It's a crazy premise, but it's so good. So good. It's great. I really, I think you guys should tune in if you haven't seen it yet. It's a great time. But thank you guys so much for listening, and thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of High Functioning Slightly Faded. As always, my name is Julie, and if you want to send me your horror movie recommendations, your Halloween costumes, some song suggestions, something you want me to talk about on the podcast, please let me know. I love hearing from my listeners. I do this for you guys. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Reddit at HFSFpod. Thank you guys. Bye, and happy Halloween. And what's your favorite scary movie?